what to expect for the weather leading up to Christmas, and of course the big question that some people have been asking since October, and some people since December 26th last year. Are we going to have a white Christmas? But I wanted to get into some of the ingredients that goes into my forecast, then give you an idea what to expect, not just in Detroit, but throughout Southeast Michigan, because I think it's probably going to be a little different in spots. We have some issues that start to knock down some of our cold, maybe break down some of our snow. So the general idea is the areas that have the most snow already on the ground, and that's of course north and west of Detroit, have the better chance to have a white Christmas. We'll go into the ingredients of all that with the definition of all that as well. First of all, show you what's happening off to our north here. This is a cold front that is not going to change our temperature much. As a matter of fact, we are in the low 30s today. We'll be about 40 tomorrow behind the cold front. But what it's trying to do, as you can see, is wring out a little bit of moisture here. And the key ingredient to a potential problem in the morning will be temperatures. They're around 30 to 32 now, but I think they may come up a tiny bit ahead of that. And so it looks like it's probably not a big problem, but of course on Channel 7 we start at 4:30. And if you have travel plans up and early, first of all, you should be going to bed. Second of all, you should be checking it out at 4:30. And Mike will show you what's going on, and Allie will have traffic for you as well if there are any issues on the roads. All right, so we've got about 4 inches on the ground at Metro 3, or 4 inches on the ground at Metro 3, I think now, and more to the north and west, less to the east and to the south for the current snowpack. That's important because we had that wet, heavy snow, and then it got really, really cold. So it's going to be tough to break that up. Let me show you just on Futurecast what's coming at us. Again, there might be a little spit spat tomorrow morning. Here's a look at tomorrow. Some shower chances in the morning, increasing in the afternoon, and the bulk of this rain is going to be in the evening. Now, I know that looks like a ton. This is 8 o'clock or so, front somewhere out here between Jackson and Pontiac, and coming through. This is probably a 1/4 of an inch for a lot of spots, maybe as much as a 1/2 an inch. And again, with the way the packed snow is, almost this icy stuff, this slushy stuff that you had to throw off your driveway with the last storm, this is going to be hard to break up with that little of a rain. I mean, it's a decent part of rain, and I don't think it's enough for flooding, by the way. Take a peek now at about, let me get this back to 8 o'clock. Put this around 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. There you go. And you can see temperatures here in the mid to upper 40s. I don't think we're going to get to 50, but mid to upper 40s around here, while it's already dropped 10 degrees behind the front to the mid 30s. So we'll get this quick changeover tomorrow. Number one, this one day, this is not tomorrow, sorry. Tomorrow, I'm trying to keep my head straight here. Wednesday is tomorrow, not much is going on. This is Thursday. We've been talking about that for about a week or so now. Thursday, you get the rain in the late day hours, in the evening, 1/4 to a 1/2 an inch, on top of that really, really hard packed snow. Temperatures back behind it fall very quickly behind the front that goes through here between about 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock. And so that won't have a lot of opportunity, the one really big warm day, even with the rain, to break up a lot of the snow. The other trend that's starting to show more and more is that we have a pretty good chance, this is the 6 to 10 day outlook that takes us right up to Christmas. We have a pretty good chance to be a little bit above average. Certainly the last part of December looks like it's going to be warmer than most of December has been so far because we've been abnormally cold. So that's not saying much, but this is the temperature range from the Climate Prediction Center, and we're just on the edge of being a little higher than normal. Chances are that we're a little warmer than normal, which the high today is 37 on average. It's weird to think that it's that warm, right? And then it falls into about 34 by the end of the year. So temperatures at least back in the 30s like we were today, rather than the teens and 20s we've had. Now that works against us as well. So the big question is, will we have a white Christmas? Let me show you what can happen on Christmas. The warmest was 64, the coldest was 10 below. It is kind of wild that they were a year apart. So at 82 is 64, and 83 It was -10. That's a 74-degree change year to year. That's pretty wild. So those are the records for temperatures. The highest snow depth, just over a foot at 13 inches back in 51. The snowiest Christmas day, the actual snow that fell on the day, 6.5 inches in 1915. And the wettest for the amount of precip, doesn't really matter too much. That's a little over an inch in 1945. So the point is, a lot can happen. All right, so now let's talk about what's going on with this white Christmas. All right, so chances for a white Christmas. The average opportunity or chance to have a white Christmas in the city of Detroit is 34.7%. So the odds are against us on any given year. Now that is using data over the last 30 years. Our records go back to the 1870s, but with our warming atmosphere, it makes a little more sense to use the most recent chunk of time rather than all of that. So in the last 30 years, our average chance to have a white Christmas, which as you can see in the middle of the screen there, is defined by an inch or more of snow covering the ground, is 34.7%. So it doesn't mean you can't have some patchy snow on the north side of a pine tree or behind the house or in a drift, that kind of thing. But to have widespread white-looking yards and things like that, 34.7%. This year, even though we are talking about some of these warmer things with a warm up the next couple of days, some rain, and a general trend towards some warmer temperatures, or back to normal temperatures probably is a better way to say that, between now and the end of the year, I still think that north and west of Detroit, we have a higher chance of a white Christmas than normal. In the city, again, it's 34.7. I think it's probably pretty close to that this year, and I'll show you why in just a second here. I'm talking about Detroit, south and east, more so than north and west. On average, in the city of Detroit, which officially the station is Metro Airport, we can discuss or argue about that later, but that's how it works. Used to be downtown, then they moved it out to the airport. The official spot now that records the climate data, highs, lows, rainfall, snowfall, that stuff, is at Metro Airport. If you want to be technical about it, it's on the northeast corner at the end of the south runway. But the point is, that area has typically received about 42 to 43 inches of snow a year. That's the seasonal average over the last several years. You go to White Lake, it jumps to 60. This is the amount of snow you'd expect for a season. So the farther north and west you are, typically means you're in the colder air with moisture coming in from the south and east. Our biggest snowstorms come across central Ohio, spin around counterclockwise, throw the moisture into the air. The colder, deeper air is a little northwest of Detroit. So that's why it's 34.7% chance of a white Christmas any given year in the city, and the chances typically do go higher as you go north and west. So here is a look at our current situation as of today for the snowpack. So if you look in that lightest color that runs through central and eastern Monroe into the downriver communities just south of Flat Rock, then over toward Windsor, Lakeshore, those areas, that is less than an inch of snowpack on the ground. So with the things we were talking about, some warmer temperatures a couple of days, some rain, those areas are less likely to keep much of that snow. And so those areas are a little bit harder to go away. The next, the light blue, not that first kind of whitish blue, but the light blue that runs from northwest Monroe through central Lenawee County up to Detroit, that is 1 to 3. All right, but most of those spots, especially in Wayne County south into Monroe and Lenawee County, are less than the 3 for snowpack. Those areas also are going to struggle to try and keep that 1 inch, remember the definition is 1 inch or more for a white Christmas, through the time that we get to Christmas Day. Then you start looking north and west of town. Ann Arbor and Pontiac are in that fourth category. That says 6 to 12. Don't know that I believe much more than 6 there. I live in southern Oakland County. In my yard, there's about 5 inches, I think, of snowpack. Not in the driveway or the piles that you've thrown, but out in the middle of the yard, that kind of thing. So this 1, 2, 3, the fourth layer there, which is kind of that medium to dark blue. The darkest thing on the map, these are the areas that have the best chance for a white Christmas. Oakland County, except for the southeast corner. So most of Oakland County, northern Wayne County, Livingston County, northern Macomb County, western and central sections of St. Clair County, then up to Sanilac, Lapeer, Genesee, all these areas up into the Thumb and back to the Saginaw Valley. So those areas are higher than the 34.7. I think in Detroit, we're about right there. So if you talk about the area overall, it's going to be kind of Splitsville, Detroit and south and east. It'll be a struggle to get back to, but we have about that same chance, about 34.5% for a white Christmas. And the farther north and west you go, the chances go up because of the current snowpack. And if we get opportunity to get some snow as we kind of go back and forth between some systems, I can actually show you that. The better chances for snow will be in those areas rather than around Detroit. I'm going to find something here real quick for you to show you, if you're patient with me. We're going to get into a busier pattern here. Even though it's a little bit warmer overall, we're going to get into a busier pattern. Let's see. Here we go. So this is the action again coming through. That's Thursday evening, not tomorrow evening. Could be some snow Friday night. And then if you notice, so there's the end of that system moving by. That goes away. Another quick one's coming down the pipe here perhaps for Saturday, more north than south. But this kind of pattern where there's one system and then another every few days, that will last into the end of the year. So generally a little bit warmer, yes, but better chances to add some snow and kind of counteract these factors of a little more warmth and a little bit of rain from time to time would be north and west of Detroit. So the average is 34.7 for the city. And I think that kind of makes sense. That's 1 out of 3 years basically. And we did not get there, I don't think, last year. We had a storm right around Christmas or just after. The year before we did, there was a storm right before Christmas. But that 34.5% makes sense to me in Detroit. And then you go north and west, you have a higher chance. So for all of southeast Michigan, probably a higher chance than normal, but Detroit, downriver into Monroe County, and southeast corner Macomb County, those areas probably about that same opportunity. So you may say, well, there's a lot of talk about nothing, and I don't disagree with you, but it's just kind of fun to look at our chances here. The general trend to be a little milder is the one part that really kind of has me over an extended period of time here, the last 10 days or so of the year. Although I guess that's not all up until Christmas, because there are a few days obviously after. But that's the one thing that's got me from being real confident to say that yes, we'll be okay. All right, it's coming up on 9:30. Excuse me. And I hope you appreciated this. We'll talk about it some more over the next couple of days, of course, right up till Christmas Day. One way or another, I want you to have a happy holiday and enjoy what's going on with friends and family. But I just thought I'd give you a little update on what my thoughts are for now. All right, thanks for watching, and we will see you on TV, channel 20, TV 20 Detroit at 10, and of course